Ta-da!
All right. I think we made it. This is great. Okay, look, I see there's actually some comments over
Good
there.
morning, y'all.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. We are so glad you're here. So thank you for joining us. It is Sunday in the studio. We are back. It is October, although we can't really tell from the weather here because it is 98, I think, is the high today.
Yeah.
I don't
It'll
even
be over 100 again, probably. We're in what the locals here call autumn.
Yeah.
So, also from my childhood, Indian summer. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
We're getting a second round of nice
Yeah.
and hot.
Really nice and
Here
hot.
we are.
So, yeah, so it is sunny and bright outside and definitely not the Octobers that we normally know. So, anyway, we're happy to be here. It has been quite a month. We are excited that you're here with us to chat about it and talk about all the new things that are coming up. So, do we want to just dig right in?
Yeah, I think so.
Have we got on any adventures since we last talked? Yes. We went to the, sorry, you guys are going to hear this every time because we have to go explore things. We went to the North Rim last weekend.
Yes.
And the North Rim of the Grand Canyon, and that was phenomenal. So, Rena from Rustic Horseshoe, the stuffed animal pattern, she and I are friends, and we're all friends. And
Hi,
she invited us to go to a condor release that happens, I think it's a yearly event that happens down there at the Vermilion Cliffs. Right name?
Correct. Yep.
And so she had invited us to go, and she'd invited us when we first moved here, and then I'd kind of forgotten about it. She reminded us, and we were able to drive down there and go. I think it was like a 2-hour drive or so, and it was amazing. And while we were there, we thought we're so close to the Grand Canyon, we might as well go to the North Rim. And he had never been there. I'd never been there. So it was a great adventure, and it was so beautiful because it was, it's just beginning to like fall here. So all the leaves are starting to change, and there's a ton of aspens.
The aspen leaves. We should probably post some pictures up. We are not prepared to do that on the live. I definitely
We'll do
check
that.
our social media feed. There was a post about aspen leaves and how beautiful and yellow they are.
Yeah,
So,
I love the fall. I absolutely love it. And it was something that I wasn't really sure we were going to get too much of here, but we totally did with that little trip. And I guess there's some other places around here we could get to, but it was gorgeous. And it did remind us a bunch of going to Wyoming when we went to Leanne's Lodge. Do you remember what her lodge is called?
The lodge.
Well, they call it the lodge, but there's actually a name for it. If Leanne's here, she can say the name of her lodge. But she has a hunting lodge that's up there in Wyoming, and it was gorgeous when we were up there. And we were up there in September, 3 years ago, I think. And it was the same. There were the aspen leaves, and then remember, like both places, we saw the bison and the wallows and like the big valleys. It was really interesting. So if you haven't been to the North Rim, I have to recommend it. It was really lovely, and there was hardly anybody there. So comparatively, the tourism there was much less, and that's kind of great because I don't always love being around a million people. And they have a hotel there and camping and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, it was great. So we have done some adventuring this month, which was great. As you know, we lost our jobs 2.5 weeks ago.
I don't know that they know that necessarily.
You might
Okay,
know.
so without getting into the messy details of everything, we moved out here to St. George in April to work for Bianni, and that has stopped working. So we have now basically made the decision that we are going to be our own bosses. This is what we're doing moving forward. We're self-employed. We are going to make Crinkle Dreams Pattern Company work.
Yep.
We are going to sell art. We are going to sell dole out education
Yes.
and tutorials and videos and content for you all. There is a new place that we have spent the last 2 weeks building, and that is a members-only community called the Dream Team. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure.
Great.
So I will say, this reminds me that my daughter Audrey, who if you've watched Sew Together Tuesday, she's done the camera work for me a few times when Hawke had to leave. She is part of this group with us. So we are the Dream Team, and we're inviting you to be a part of it, basically, because we know it makes... Teamwork makes the dream work. Is that what you say? Right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the three of us have put together this Dream Team community, and it is an online community for makers. So we are really trying to bridge beyond just quilting or sewing with Cuddle or sewing with, anything specific. It's really kind of a broader group of people that we want to talk about all the things and do all of the education and have the community. So that's what we're trying to build up. We have couple dozen people on there now, which I'm really excited about. It is
Thank you all. If
Thank
you're
you.
watching over there, by
Thank
the
you.
way, these lives stream over there into that community as well.
Yes, and that community will have a whole bunch of like exclusive access things so that it's $15 a month, and basically that gets you a free pattern every month, and it gets you exclusive access to different lives and some tutorial things. We have the maker happy hours.
We are okay.
Which
So
is-
I'm going to start.
So he can show you this. So we have a whole bunch of things that are
overlays.
going to happen in that community. It's just starting to build up now, but we're really excited because one of the things that we have learned to love over the past few years is these interactions with you guys and getting to talk to you and learn from you and be able to share things. And thank you for everybody who's like all these familiar names, and it's really good to see you guys. I'm very happy to have you here.
Do you want to do the little video walkthrough on how to get over there? Is that now?
Yeah, let's totally do that. So we'll show you how to do it.
This is what the dream team is going to look like when you
Yeah.
get there.
So, nope, that's the wrong one. Oh, no, it is. It's the right one. Okay, so that's crinkledreams.com. You click on Dream Team Community, and it takes you to this page, which will tell you about what the Dream Team Community is. And then there's a little button there that you can sign up. This is kind of what the community looks like. And there's a video there that you can watch that explains it a little bit more and what we're doing. You can choose your subscription, which is monthly or yearly, and this is the three of us who are behind it. So if you want to subscribe, that's how you do it. It's a 7-day free trial, so you can get in there, look around, see if you like it, and if you don't, you can get out. But if you do, we hope you'll stick around because we're really going to make it worth your while. It's going to be the place where we get to spend a lot of time and energy and sewing. So Sandy asks if she's not a quilter. Will all the patterns be quilts? And no, they are not. So I have a big variety of different kinds of patterns. And we will be doing that every month. So this is what it looks like when you go back and you click on Dream Team Community. You'll get into the feed. It lists the upcoming events, what's happening. It shows all the conversations with people. We have video tutorials in there. We've got some chit chat areas. We've got special events. And one of those special events that we're going to do is a happy hour, a maker happy hour. So I really want to focus on this idea of it's just making. Okay. So every month we're going to host a happy hour. There'll be a couple of them, one with me, one with Hawke. Audrey might do it down the road. She does crochet. I sew, he paints. So we've got all the things covered. And basically we're going to ask you to come and spend you don't have to do it, but what we want to do is spend a couple of hours together just sewing or just making. So one of the things that we've realized is that it's really hard sometimes to implement a time that you are doing the thing that you love doing. And for me, that's sewing of any sort, whether it's sewing crafts or clothes or quilts or whatever. I just love sewing. And that's my happy place, but I don't always take the time to give myself that. And so what we want to do is provide a place where we can kind of do that together.
You're our accountability partners.
Yes,
that's what we're saying.
And we'll be yours. So we'll schedule
Yes.
this time that we can come together. We can make whatever we want. If you have questions, you can ask. Hawke will share his knowledge about painting and color and illustration and all of that good stuff. I'll share mine about sewing. I think it can be a really fun event that we're going to do, and that'll be an exclusive that's in the group, in the community, every month. So we'll do one at least every month, each of us. So for the next couple months, it's a little crazy sauce because it's that time of year of all the stuff happening.
Now, between now and Christmas, and we're gonna skip to the end, right? There's Quilt Festival and Quilt Market coming up too,
Yep.
and
Yep.
we are going down there. We are free agents. We are going to go down and we'll spend a minute at Market, and then we are going to spend the first day of Quilt Festival. You have an open studio in the morning.
So Quilt Festival, if you're not familiar, Quilt Market and Quilt Festival happen in Houston every year. Quilt Market is for the industry, and Quilt Festival is for the community. So that is, just the consumers. And we are going to be at both events, at least on the first day for both. And And then we're going to do for Quilt Festival that opens on Thursday. There's like a preview night on Wednesday night. But Thursday morning, I'm doing an open studio that is from 10 to noon in the open studio section. If you've ever been to Quilt Festival, you know what I'm talking about. If not, they have this like open area that you can kind of demo different things. And there are 4 demos going on at a time. It lasts for a couple of hours and you get to talk to a lot of people and share. And I'm talking about quilted clothing. So that's a very fun blend of the two things that I love, which is quilting and sewing. So I'll be talking about that. That's from 10 to noon on Thursday, which I think is Halloween, actually. And then after that, we'll meet up for lunch with whoever wants to meet up with us. We figure we'll meet up at 12:30 or so. And there is information about that also in the Dream Team community, and I'm sure I'll put it out there for the bigger picture, too, because if you're there, I would love to see you and say hi. I love meeting people in person. So
let me answer a couple of questions in the comments. Clarify. No, we are no longer with Bianni. We are with ourselves. Yeah. We are with you. We're here for you. And the other question was a great question. Will the Dream Team community take the place of this? This show will go on every month, live out to YouTube, out to Facebook. It will also be broadcast into the community there. So it's a nice contained space. I believe if you are in the Dream Team community now and you're watching this and you're commenting, those comments are showing up on YouTube. So that works out nicely. This content will always be here for free for everyone once a month. And you'll probably see some fun videos coming through on YouTube. We're going to upload some shorts, tutorial shorts and stuff like that. There will be a certain amount of content available for everybody. Yeah. And if you want to dig in, you want to come spend extra time with us, you want to see what new patterns Teresa's creating first and in advance, come on in, come join the Dream Team, come hang out with us. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's just kind of getting started right now. Speaking of patterns, Pattern of the Month is a whole project that we're working on right now. Where are we at with it?
So one of the things, and I've talked about this before, so ironically, I talked about how great it is to have a day job just before we lost our day jobs, which I think is hilarious. But one of the things about having a day job is that it also takes a lot of time, like, 50, 60 hours a week. And now I have the time to actually do the tutorials and patterns that I've been wanting to do and that people have been saying, like, when are you going to do this? When are you do that? I will. And now I have the time to do it. So I'm really excited to get to focus on pattern making kind of for the first time in my life, and all of the teaching that will come along with that, because it is my happy place. I love teaching and I love sharing my knowledge and my newfound knowledge, because every time I sew something, I learn something new. So part of the Dream Team is that you will get a new pattern every month. So every month I'll be releasing a new, kind of like a quick and easy pattern. This month we're doing the patchwork pouch, and next month we're doing a little pin cushion, and then we'll just do that sort of like an easy sewing craft pattern, and then that will have a lesson that goes along with it that I'll be teaching you something specific. So this week we're going to do it I'm going to teach you how to do a zipper, and so that's what we wanted to show today. So I'm going to show you how to do a zipper. Do we want to do that?
I think we could do that now.
Now?
I'm going to pop in and say there will come a time very soon where I get back behind the camera and we get to play old Sew Together Tuesday games, and it's going to be super fun. Right now, we weren't quite ready for that, but we do have a multicam set up. I'm going to go over and switch video. Teresa's going to teach. I'm still going to ask questions, and this is going to be a little preview of what these sorts of tutorials are going to look like in the future. There may not always be a tutorial as part of Sunday in the Studio.
Yeah, there traditionally has not been.
Right.
But we wanted to show you this, and I really, like, now that I have the time, I want to get back to it. I want to actually love the teaching. I love sharing with you guys. So I'm really excited about doing this. Okay, so the patchwork pouch pattern, let me show you it first before we get too far into it. So the pattern is available as an exclusive in the Dream Team community, which, like I said, $15 a month and you get a free pattern. So that's fabulous. But you can also buy the pattern separately. So if you don't want to be a part of the Dream Team, it makes me no. I'm just so you don't have to. The pattern is available now.
And how much is it online right now?
$10.
It's $10. So for an extra $5 and a $7 7-day free trial, come in, join the community, see what see what you're missing.
Yeah.
See what just come hang out with us.
Come hang out with us.
Yeah.
You know you like us. We're good people.
All right.
So if you download the pattern, this is what it looks like, and it prints out in a way that you can actually get through. So it'll have like pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it'll have it just like that. If we will be printing it soon, and then it will be available for store. So I know Casey Maker is out there. Hi, Patty. I'll have this one ready for you when I get out there. So we'll be releasing these every month. This is the new one. It creates this super cute little pouch. And I have to tell you, I designed this almost a year ago, and it's taken me a while to get to the point of being able to like finish it up and get it out there. But I did. So this is the first version that I just recently, the first new version of it I did. And what I love about this is that it uses charm squares. So that's what I was trying to figure out, how to kind of use up those things that I have extra of that I don't need anymore. Charm squares are one of those that I'm like, they're super cute, and I have a ton of them, and I make hexies out of them sometimes, but I haven't done it in a long time, and yeah, I just have a lot of them. So I was like, what could I do with them? So I made this little pouch. We put them together, okay, with a little extra. This one has flannel inside of it. So instead of a batting, it has a flannel. So it's a really like kind of floppy, has paper in here to hold it up stiff. So it's real, let me take that out so you guys can see. So it's a real kind of floppy little bag with the flannel inside. Okay, the other way that you can do this is with the one that we're gonna do today, which I did with 10-inch squares and made half square triangles and then put them together. Okay, and then this one I used a batting, a cotton batting behind it. We'll see how that one turns out. And then this one I actually did with the foam stabilizer, the Soft and Stable. That one stands up beautifully because that's what that stuff does, and that's what it's made to do. And I am super proud of those ends. Can I just say, very proud of that. I worked real hard to get those to match up. So this, before I get to the demo part of it, I wanted to show you, this is not pieced. So it is actually a printed fabric. So it is from Treasured Threads, which is an Amy Barrickman. See if I can get that to show without too much glare. So Treasured Threads, it's what it's called. It's Amy Barrickman, and she does this printed fabric. It's digitally printed fabric, and it's just these small little sections. It's a 15 by 44 inch panel. So just a small bit. This uses just a little hunk of the fabric. So it worked out really, really well in that it looks like it's kind of vintage fabric in a postage stamp style, and it's not. So this one I actually didn't quilt at all. I just did the top stitching. This one I quilted across each square, and then this one I actually quilted around these little they're kind of like flying geese, but they're not. They're actually half square triangles that are arranged that way. All right, any questions that I need to know from there?
I'm gonna jump back for just a second.
Okay.
We're to answer questions.
Okay.
All out of order.
And then we'll move to showing you how to do the zipper.
Rosie, this shirt. This is Five Little Monkeys Quilt Shop in Weaverville,
Yeah.
North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina. Their shop survived. However, they are closed right now because the whole town doesn't work. And they are actually, Angie and DJ are all out helping others and trying to organize, supplies and stuff like that. With that said, I'm going to put their shop name up in the banner right now.
Yeah, if you follow them, they are posting not regularly, but pretty often on Facebook and doing updates for them. And that is their website. I know a lot of people have done things.
The best thing you can do to help them, and I know that quilters are ready to help, don't send quilts yet. You want to make a quilt, you want to sew about it, totally get it. Right now, the best thing you can do is to go to their website and buy a gift certificate. And wait at least 6 months before you spend that gift certificate. That way, they have some money coming in while the doors are closed, and they can use that to maintain their overhead and also to help the rest of their community, which they are absolutely doing. So anyway, there we go.
Yeah.
Angie, DJ, we love you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been, the whole thing with the hurricane has been really sort of horrifying to watch. We know a few different families out there, and it's been a lot. So DJ and Angie have been doing a bunch, and like I said, you can follow them on Facebook. That's their website. Her Facebook name is actually 5, like the number, Little Monkeys. So if you look for it, that's the easiest way to find them on Facebook, and then you can follow their updates and see what's happening and how you can help out. She's been sharing lots of different ways and lots of local agencies that you can actually donate to, or that you can buy things through. So check that out. Okay, so are we ready to do a patchwork pouch? Do a zipper? All right, so let's see if we can move the camera over, and we'll move it to this one. And I will show you how I put in zippers. Okay, close.
There it is.
There we go. All right,
Ta-da.
so here we go. Let's see if I can turn this light on again.
I had it on earlier.
It likes to turn off, so it'll probably turn off midstream and we'll be all right. So I've got my little pouch pieces made to this point. If you follow the pattern, you'll be able to see this. I did them so that the arrows will go in the same direction. And so at this point, we need to, oops, there it is. We need to put the zipper in. So the easiest way to put in zipper is with basting tape. And I will say I have often been afraid of zippers, and I really hated them because when you pin them in, and if you are familiar with trying to do this, when you pin them, it kind of buckles them because this is so thick, and it will not keep it very smooth as you go down here. Okay, and then what happens is that they want to move in between here. So this will come up higher and you'll sew it wrong. So I used to always struggle with the zippers, and then oh, I cannot remember her name now, in Portland showed me Wonder Tape. And Wonder Tape is 1/4 of an inch wide. It's kind of like this stuff, but I don't have any on hand. This is the same sort of thing. But it's 1/4 of an inch wide. The thing I don't like about that is that I'll often end up getting it in the stitching. So what I really do like is the Bianni stuff. And what I do is I'm going to put this along here. In the pattern, it's going to tell you to make a mark. And that's what that little red mark is. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this. I need my little scissors.
And we already put the tab on the end of the zipper.
Yes.
Can you talk that little part through before you get too far?
Yes. So I'm going to get this to go down and get it to stick real good. Let's see if I can get that to separate. Come on, little guy. There we go. All right, so now I've got a sticky little section right up here. I can put it right up at the top. It's 1/8 of an inch wide, so when I stitch 1/4 of an inch in, I should completely miss it. That's the hope. Okay, this is my zipper. It's extra long because that's the easiest way of doing them. And I sewed the little zipper tab on here. I probably should have shown you. But the first thing I do is that I'm going to stick the zipper tab over it this way, over the end of it. I sew it, bring it back, and it looks like this.
And you top stitch it after.
And then I top stitch it here, and then I basted it down here to hold it together. Otherwise, those ends like to flail. So it's super duper easy. Just top stitch. I top stitch once. We're going to do it again later. So you don't have to do it now, but it's definitely easier. Okay. So I've got my basting tape down here. I was going to show you what the package looks like so you know what it is. Oops, wrong direction. Sorry, guys. Okay. So that's what I'm using. I will tell you when it comes, you get 2 packages of it. One of them sits here and one of them sits inside. So a lot of times you only think you're getting 1, but you actually get 2. Okay. So it's a lot, which is great. So now I'm going to put this guy on here. I'm going to line up my tab with the end. Come across here and just press it down. And all I'm trying to do is get the raw edges to match. Okay. So now where I have my little mark that I made, I'm going to go ahead and stick a pin in here so that I know where to stop or start. And for this one, I'm going to start here and go this way. When I go the other direction, that'll be my stop. Okay, so does that make sense? Everybody clear? Clear as mud?
Comment. It absolutely, in the pattern, it absolutely goes step by step on how to add that little zipper tab.
Yes.
And there will be a video recorded about this as well. So you're gonna have all kinds of opportunities to learn this technique. It's great.
Yep. I just wanted to show you the zipper part because that's the part that people are scared of. They are often very scared. I'm going to try, I don't have a microphone. Oh, I can clip this to me, can't I?
You can.
I'm going to do that so that it's not sitting on the sewing machine right now, because that seems like a bad idea. All right, so I've got my stuff. I've got my my bag, my pouch side. You want to bring the camera over here?
Ta-da.
Ta-da! There we go.
Not
Great.
the best view. Let me get a little light in on the subject.
That's all right, because I'm going to put the foot in the right spot. So I've got my zipper foot here. There we go. And this is a great little foot because I can move it, as you can see, to whichever side my zipper is on. So I can have a little bit of room. And I'm just going to stitch this down, and I'm going to stitch it down a little bit, a little shy of 1/4 of an inch.
A scant.
A scant. And I'm going to start where my pin is. So I'm going to put it down where I know I want my needle to come down. I'm going to put it down with my hand crank on the side so that I don't break a needle, just in case. Then I'm going to go ahead and I will do a lock stitch because I want to make sure that my stitching isn't going past that line I made. So that's why I'm going to do a lock stitch, and then I'm just going to sew right along the hair. Okay, so this is basically 1/4 of an inch, a little less. The reason I'm trying to do just slightly less than 1/4 of an inch is so when I come back and I sew the lining on with 1/4 of an inch, it doesn't show on the front, the first line of stitching. So that one I could back stitch, and that's totally fine. All right, we ready?
Back over to the other camera.
Back over to the other camera.
Ta-da.
Okay, you know what I just realized? I don't know what I did with my lining. That would be helpful to have, right? Let's see. We're just gonna pick a lining. Is that the right color for the lining? Not terrible.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm coming. I got more. Don't worry. Teresa's got fabric. All right, which one is it going to be, Hawke?
Show them. Show them.
I did. They're on the screen down here.
There we go.
Okay, which one do we think it is?
Bob.
we know it's not that one. That one's too orange. Here we go. Here's a color lesson from Hawke. This is his.
Okay.
I think I know which one it is.
I think it's the middle one.
Yep, I think this one's too pink.
That's not bad with the centers of those, actually.
And this is too red.
Yep. There.
It's this one, this
That's the
little
lining.
bricky color.
Ta-da.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to. Would you activate the iron over there real quick for me?
It is hot already.
Okay, good. Good. So I'm gonna cut this out, and I'm gonna send it over to you, and then I'll trim it up. Okay. I'll get picky about it in just a second. I just want to get it smaller. Okay. If you'll give those a press and hand them back, that'll be great.
I am on it.
Okay, thank you. All right. So we have to do the lining. So the way that I do this is that we're gonna put these together with the outsides and the lining, and we'll do both sides and then sew them together. There are lots of ways to do a pouch. This is just one way, and the reason I wanted to show you this one is because I do the zipper a little funky. So you will find pouch patterns that will have like a tab at either end. You'll have them that run right into just the end here. This one is going to end actually a little early. So at this point, I'm going to swirl it out basically so that you will get this kind of an end. Let's see if we can get that to show where the zipper dives into the bag. Okay. I think it makes for a really nice finish on here. See if I can show that a little better. Okay, where this kind of comes down into it, and I think it makes a really nice finish for the bag, and I like the way that it closes a little better this way. So that's what I want to show you. All right. So I'm going to measure these out. Thankfully, I've made a few of them, so I know what the measurements are. Okay, and I'm going to make it about 1/4 of an inch smaller than the outside. And the reason I do that is so the lining will sit down in there a little better. All right.
It's like the Wild Wild West watching her do a pattern without having the pattern.
It is kind of the Wild Wild West. All right. So now I want to put my lining on here. And what I need to do is at the same time, I'm going to bring the zipper down here. Okay. So first we're going to sew right up to where we sewed before. And I'm again going to use some basting tape on here. So I'm going to go ahead, stick that on. Get that to stick real well with my nail. And then when I do this, I kind of, you can use the stiletto to do it, and sometimes it'll work really nicely, but I kind of just scratch against the back and push it down and try to hold that down with my finger. I will say the one thing I really like about this basting tape is that it is very strong. So it holds really nicely. Some of the other stuff likes to pull up, and this one does not.
Deidre Pell, we see you.
Deidre Powell.
Welcome.
Hello. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my pin back in here. And now I'm going to again stitch from this side so that I can kind of follow this line and make sure I'm getting just past this line now. Now, if you are afraid of zippers, this is the part that I am sometimes afraid of, is this zipper pull. If I make this longer, I can just pull the zipper pull out of the way and not have to fight it. Okay? On the next one, I'll show you how to fight it.
Rosie asks, does that basting tape gum up your needle?
Yes, it will gum up your needle, which is why you want to make sure to keep it away. So that's why the 1/8 of an inch is really nice, is because it stays out of your seam allowance. So that's why I like that, because it will totally gum up your needles. There's a couple of things that you can do about that. One is not sew it. Do you want to move the camera? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, so one is not to sew over it. The other is that you can use Teflon needles, which work really well. Or you could just clean your needle with alcohol when you're done. Both of those work. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start sewing here. And I'm sewing just outside of that. Hopefully catching my 1/4 inch nicely. I can kind of see where it's at with my quilting, which is nice. And then I'm going to get up to here again where that pin is. Make sure I don't stitch over it. And I'm going to back stitch and then go forward just a little. Okay, now this is the fun part. So now I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to pull.
The needle's still down.
Needle is still down, so it's staying where I want it to stay. I'm trying to zip the lining and I don't want to do that. Okay, now I'm going to get this in between. Okay, this is the tricky part. Then I'm going to pull this back and pulling it off straight off the side. There we go. Thanks, Hawke. You could see that back there, huh?
I could. Sometimes it's hard to tell whether your pressure foot pressure is down when you have that many layers in there.
Yeah. And I'm not really looking at that right now. All right, so then that becomes this curve that goes into my pouch. Okay, so that looks really nice in my opinion. All right, so now...
And each side curves the opposite direction, right? So it basically acts as
Right.
a stop for the zipper pull.
Exactly, that's what it will do. Yep, so let's do the other side. So I'm going to let you press these either way for me. This is great. I'm just going to... You can be my help. So press it...
I am your help.
So press it away from the zipper.
You got it.
All right, and then I'm going to find my other side here. And did I trim this one yet? Nope. Okay, and you can see on the other one, my zipper or my lining was just slightly bigger, and that's really because the quilting kind of pulled that up a little bit smaller. if that happens for you, it does not matter. Make it work, okay? we will figure it out. So your pouch will be, you know, this pouch will be 1/8 of an inch smaller than the other one, and no one cares. Not even me. All right. So again, I've got a pouch front. Thank you. And I'm going to find my little line that I did, which is there. I'm going to start my zipper or my basting tape there and bring it along. Again, smushing that real good. And then peeling it up. Okay, so now I'll put this one on there, and I want to make sure that my edges are going to match along there and along here. We're going to do the same thing, and I'm going to put a pin in where that little mark is. Okay, so as you can see now, my zipper, I can't pull it past the end to get it out of my way. I'm kind of stuck with it being right here because that's where it goes into the bag. Okay, so it's kind of stuck right here. So I'm going to pull it back just a little bit so I don't have to deal with it at the very beginning, and then we'll deal with it as we go down here. So let's go back to the machine and sew this. All right, so again, we're going to put my needle down, and I'm going to do that by hand so I can get it to go exactly where I want it to and not smack that pin. Because believe me, I have done it, and that will drive your pin straight into your machine, which is never a great idea.
Hi, Jackie. Smush it. That's right.
Smush it down. Okay, so once I get to here, I can see my zipper pull is right here, and I can't get by. And I will say, as a young sewist, this is what I would try to do all the time, is sew around it, and so your seam would be really straight, and then it would do this wonky thing and then come back to be straight. You don't really have to do that. And even if you did do that, you could actually go back and re-sew it, which I never did. So I've learned a lot in the years. Okay, so I just pulled it, lift my foot up. I didn't really explain that. Sorry, guys. I just lifted it up and moved it past. So it's now back here. Okay, so here's my zipper. Sometimes I have to use my little stiletto and pull it, get it out of the way, come back, put things back where they were, and then I'll just keep sewing. Okay, so really not hard. The other thing that can come in really handy with that is that your foot generally will have an extra lift. So this has a lift that I could get the foot past, or the zipper pull past, but if I can't, you can give it another lift. And the baby lock lifts it a whole bunch. I don't even know, it's more than 1/8 of an inch, I think. It's a good extra lift. This can sometimes require somebody else to lift this part for you so you can do the manipulating here, but it does work. Okay, and that's really a handy thing that a lot of people, when I have taught classes, I have been surprised at how many people didn't know their machine would do that. Okay, so here we are with that. Bring it over to the other camera. We'll do it one more time. So again, I'm gonna put my zipper tape down here up to where I stopped sewing. Get it on there real good. All right, and then we'll stick this back on there. So this is also where the logistics of this sometimes can get a little bit confusing, because I'm like, you're putting the lining on the lining. I promise it's going to work out. These are right sides together because they're going to get sewn right sides together later. These are right sides together, though you can't tell because it's a solid. All right, so again, this is where we want to stop sewing. I am actually going to sew it from this side this time so that I can do the swing out here. All right, that's just personal preference. And I'll just make sure that I caught it from the other side as well as I think I should have. Okay, so now when you're at this part, this has needed a little extra oomph, which if you have sewn with me for any time, you know, I love that stiletto for its extra oomph. Make anything move. So I'm going to get up here. I'm getting close. Here's my zipper pull. I can't get all the way up here without hitting it. So this is when I'm going to pop my foot up, get between all the layers, get the zipper pull, pull it back. All right. And then we'll get up to this pin. Stop. I'm going to back stitch just a couple just to give this a little extra strength right there. All right, then I'm going to lift my foot, pull this over again. We need 3 hands.
Does anybody else think it's funny that we refuse to sew over pins, but we're totally fine just sewing over plastic zipper teeth or even metal zipper teeth?
I don't sew over metal zipper teeth.
No, you don't.
No.
Okay.
No, I hand crank over those.
Okay, hand cranking over them. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay, cool.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not hypocritical about that one. Some other things I might be. All right, so now.
Is this the crescendo?
Oh, this is the chorus.
It's the chorus.
It's very close. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to trim these off. I'm not going to trim them really super duper close right now, mostly because it just adds a little bit of extra bulk. It's kind of like grading seams there. These will get pulled apart. I'll go ahead and do some top stitching on here to hold the zipper in position. Looks like this when you do that. Here's the zipper. This is what it'll finish like. But you can see this is what my little zipper pouch is going to look like. And this little end here, I just think it looks really nice. So it's just a different way of doing a zipper that I haven't seen other pouch patterns do. So that was really the point of this one, was to show how to do this style of zipper. There, like I said, there are a million different pouch patterns and there are a bunch of free tutorials. But I feel like a lot of them end up in a way that is not the most attractive ending. So you can also, on this one, I put my little tag on here. So if you've got tags, I got some recently that say made in the desert, which I think is adorable. I need to put on some. These I didn't. This one I put a tag on the inside. So you can do any of that anywhere that you would like if you want to add a tag too. But I really do like the finish on this. Okay, I think it looks just really nice. So there you go. There's the tutorial on doing a zipper, and also depending on which way you want, how much fluff you want on yours. So, foam stabilizer, batting, flannel. So you can see the difference in how well they're gonna kind of stand up. All right, questions?
Yes. Let's see what we've got. Actually,
I love you guys.
Do we press the seams now again?
Yes.
You press it again, and then you can top stitch.
Yes, and I will tell you my little secret that I found out yesterday, because I've had a couple times that when I went and sewed the top stitching, that it got pulled funny, and then I was frustrated. So what I did yesterday when I did the top stitching is I pulled my lining and my exterior together nice and tight, and then I pressed it, and then they stayed that way, and the lining couldn't kind of work itself back up, which would happen.
Okay.
So does that make sense? Because like this will happen in the back where it kind of folds up and it actually can get stretched down, and you want that to be nice and tight against the zipper.
Okay.
So things I learned along the way. So press well and then pin it and then do your top stitching. So if you just follow the pattern with that, and that gives it, yeah. And then you get this cute little like end bit here with the fabric. So that covers up that end. And then you get the nice, I'll show you that one here, the nice ending here. Okay.
I liked your little top stitch detail. It's hard to see, but on the tab right here, she did a decorative stitch.
Yeah, the same one
that she did here,
which is the patchwork quilting stitch on mine. I don't know what number it is. Let me see. It's 107 on my chorus, and it is like, it's supposed to look like hand stitching. It doesn't really look like hand stitching, but it is really a nice little decorative, and you can't see the middle stitches so well, so you see it has sort of that idea of being a hand stitch. Okay, now I lost my paper. Hawke left me. All right. Oh, okay. So if you like my tutorials, which I hope you do, I love doing them. We will be doing more, and we're doing more workshops. So I'm really excited about that. Are we sharing
We will.
some of that stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit.
So I'm really excited to get to teach more because it is, like I said, it is my happy place. And I have a couple of different opportunities. So one, the coat pattern is, or the coat class is still going and will be for a little bit. And then I'm going to close, what do you call the joining? I'm going to close the class off so nobody can join for a little bit. I'm going to move it to a different platform over to where the Dream Team community is, and I can build more classes in there. And in that community, we're going to be able to do some live workshops, and we'll be able to do pre-recorded workshops. So the elemental coat, that workshop has been kind of a mix. And so I do a monthly live with everybody, and then there's a whole bunch of recorded videos. We're going to kind of just play with this idea of how we want to do classes. I would love to hear from you. Which method works best for you? Do you like the hybrid where we have a live sessions with pre-recorded materials so you can work on it your own pace? Do you want to work on it exclusively on your own pace, or do you want to work exclusively on it together as a workshop? Those ideas are the ones that I want. I will probably end up doing all three, but I'd love to hear what people would like to do. So in that regard, I have, like I mentioned Rena earlier from Rustic Horseshoe. She and I are good friends. And so
She's in the comments.
Is she? Hi, Rena. So I talked with her about teaching some of her stuffed animal patterns, and she said I can. So that's what we're gonna do. So the two that I want to do first, Nutty Nag, I have some kits ready for, and I just need to get them up there, and then we'll just teach that class. So if you would be interested in that, I'd love to hear whether you would want it to be live so we can work on it together, or pre-recorded. She does additional videos, so I kind of lean toward doing a live session where I can actually help you work through it. But either way, it'll be a step-by-step. Let's do the thing together.
Are they familiar with Rustic Horseshoe patterns?
Because if you're not, you should be. So the other one that she said that she could see doing a class on, that I would like to do another class on, is the Debonair Dragon, which is great. And so, yeah, this is this guy. And I did a class with him in Nebraska. We did this class, and it was great. And, well, the class was a little bit of a crapshoot, but there was a lot that went wrong that day. But it's a great stuffed animal. And so we're going to be doing some of these. She has some really great ones. This is her cat.
Are we allowed to show the wolf yet?
Yeah. The dog is out.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, then I'll be back
Yeah.
with the wolf. This is the kitty.
Rena can leave the names because I can't
Look-
remember.
oh, I stepped on your toe.
It's okay.
Look at the toe beans. Guys, this toe beans.
They're so cute. So one of the things is people often think, oh, I can't do it. And I will tell you that you can totally do this. Like the stuffed animals, you don't have to make them as complicated as sometimes she does. You can make them really simple. And the thing about her patterns is that all of those options are in there, so we can make it really simple, or we can get a little bit more creative with it. And this is the new dog pattern.
It's a husky.
Sorry, Rena, I can't remember the name of it.
Look at those.
Charismatic cat, and then the
Look at
dog.
those eyes.
So cute. So this is the husky, and then so they are all part of the Pudgy Plushie collection. So once you've made one of those, the body and the arms and legs and stuff are all kind of made in a similar fashion. Once you get to know her patterns, you can kind of make any of them, and that's what I really want you guys to do, is to learn with me. We'll figure out how to make these things, and you can just keep making them because they are kind of addictive. I have no one to make them for, and I still love to make them. So
I'm going to contextualize this. Before I met Teresa, before I met Rena, before I knew anything about sewing, I thought that stuffed animals were just something that you got at Toys R Us and you gave to kids. Or I knew a little bit about collectibles, so I knew what a stiff bear was, and I knew that they were very expensive. But again, they were made in a factory in England somewhere by very, very specialized little gnomes. And I didn't think that was something that you could do in your home studio until I met these ladies.
Yeah.
And they have blown my mind.
Yeah.
The fact that you can create a stuffed animal with love and it is heirloom quality you can these guys are super indestructible.
Yeah, they're great.
I'm pretty impressed with
great.
them, and obviously, like, they work really well with Shannon Fabrics Cuddle,
Yeah.
which we still love.
Yeah.
And it makes them super soft and, again, really durable and washable and all of that great stuff. Obviously, if you're making them for littles, you have to consider your eye choices and stuff like that. We go over all of that. Safety eyes.
Yeah. I love making the stuffed animals, and I love teaching the classes. So that'll be something that's upcoming, and I just would really love your opinion, your feedback, your thoughts, your hopes, your dreams, all of that good stuff, so we can make the most of our time. So that's really what I want to do, is I want to be able to create the things that you guys want, so that I can be happy teaching, you can be happy learning, and we can be sharing all of this together, because this is it's a lovely hobby, and it's also my career. So okay, so classes. I also have classes coming up in person. So we told you we're going to be at Quilt Festival, and after Quilt Festival, we are heading up to Kansas City. We're going back to Kansas City, and Kansas City, here I come. I feel like I should start singing it. And we're going to go back to KC, have some barbecue, and teach at KC Maker Studio and Fabrics. So I will be there November 5th through 8th. I'll be teaching the Elemental Coat class. I will be teaching the Ben the Beginner Bear, which is a Funky Friends factory pattern that will help you learn how to sew with her patterns. And then I will be doing a class on the Place for Everything bag from by Annie, and that will be a 2-day class. So, because that's a doozy. So we're going to have, we'll have 4 days of classes, 3 different topics, and it should be super fun. So I'm looking forward to that. If you are in the KC area, this is the time that we can do this. Angie saw your shirt. She said, "Nice shirt." Yeah. We talked all about you, Angie. Thanks.
We did. We asked everybody to buy gift certificates. That's the move.
Yeah. So we're happy to help out in any little way we can. So join me at KC Maker. That'll be super fun. We have a few other things coming up. We have a bunch of stores in the Midwest who want us to come back next year when the weather is better. So you will definitely look for us there. All of those events and classes will be listed first in the Dream Team community. So if you're a part of that, you kind of get first dibs on stuff, and that works out pretty nicely. We have a retreat that we're planning for next year.
The dates exist. The tickets do not.
The tickets do not.
Stand by.
But we've got it on the calendar, and I'm really excited about that because I have wanted to do it for a long time. So that will be a lot of fun too. And so we just have a ton of things that are going to be coming up. We're very excited at what the possibilities hold, and we definitely ask for your support and love and sharing and all of that good stuff. So if you like what we produce, please tell people about it, so we can get more people here, and that will be able to facilitate us doing the thing that we love and, truthfully, the thing I'm good at. So yeah, but we need your help with it too. So if you don't mind, just sharing the love, it would be great. What else do we need to tell them? I feel like that was the most of it. I ran out of stuff here November 5th and 8th.
We did a ton of stuff in opposite order, and I think we actually managed to do it. Anyway, so the only other thing that I was going to talk about a little bit was...
Oh, your art.
Yeah, we could probably do something about that.
Okay, so my Maker Happy Hour is on October 10th in the Dream Team community. His is going to be on October 19th, which is a Saturday morning. His is in the morning, mine is in the evening. So if you are interested in learning more, because we've talked about it before, how he uses Procreate to do his art and the things he can do with it. So he's taken his art and he's been able to put it onto a print on demand. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, absolutely. So Society 6 is where I'm signed up right now. I haven't even ordered my own art yet to see how fulfillment is, so that's going to happen this week. But the site is definitely available. Hawke Artist is the name of my profile. HAWKE Artist, all one word.
Also on Instagram.
That's totally true. Anyway, I've got like 5 designs up there right now, including the one, including the featherweight, which some of you have been able to order the note cards for off of our website, which has been great. We will do some printing on our own as well.
Yeah.
And then last episode, we were working on this crazy thing, which is now done. So, and this is available. You can order this as a metal print or a fine art print or an iPhone cover, I think. All kinds of crazy
print it
stuff.
on anything
off
for
of,
you.
So Society 6
Yeah.
has got a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm really happy that got done. I only spent about 70 hours on it. So, let me show you what I'm working on now. Can we switch places?
Yeah.
Can you take my stuffy buddies out of here for
I
a
will.
second? Okay, cool. We're going to drop this under.
Put the camera on.
I am going to switch over to the other camera.
Okay.
Here we go. Got it. And we're upside down. So that's just the way that's going to be. And so that's what that ended up looking like.
You just turn it around.
I can.
That's what I tried to do.
Okay.
Oh,
Except that
I'm wearing the mic.
Oh, there we go. Did somebody say something?
No, I just remembered.
Got it. All right. I'm also going to just come over here and draw from this side.
Okay. Are you going to draw more on it? I thought
Well, no. I'm going to switch over and show them what I'm working on now, which is
okay.
actually the in the name of sewing machines and fun. There is very similar to that featherweight, a beautiful vintage Bernina.
Yeah.
And I am really, really excited. I know y'all love your Berninas. The folks that like Berninas, they go for it with the Berninas. So I am working on this right now. So we'll see how long it takes me. And once this is done, we will release it into the wild and you'll be able to get it in on all kinds of fun things. Note cards, clocks. I don't know why you'd want a Bernina sewing machine clock, but they offer it, and I'm happy to
If you love
have you buy it.
Berninas.
There you go. Anyway, there we are. I'm gonna
Okay.
switch it back to the front camera.
Okay, sorry. All right, let's do that, and then so head on over there.
I'm in.
Okay, good. So there.
Yes.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.
All right. Okay, so now let's answer some questions before we go, because there are definitely some questions in here that I wanted to tackle. Your artist name on Society 6, would you pop that back up there, Audrey? So you can see it. There we go. So search for Hawke Artist.
You know what? Down in the bottom of when you start typing in their search field, down at the bottom, it specifically has a line that you can choose that says artist name contains.
Yeah.
And that's the way to go. I would give you the whole address to this site, but it's a long string of numbers
Right.
and it's kind of ugly.
But
and
the easy way to find it
that's true.
is you go to crinkledreams.com, and then there's a thing on there that says prints.
There we go.
And you click on prints, and then that will take you over to the website that shows the different designs that he has.
All right, we're gonna walk it.
Go
through.
for it.
Here comes the video.
Okay, so there we go. Okay, so you're going to go over there, you're going to click prints, and that's just from crinkledreams.com. Hopefully it'll click over there. There we go. And then it's going to take you over there, and that's what it looks like. And those are the designs that he has up available right now. So this is what we're starting with. You can see his art varies dramatically. You can find the image that you want and then click on it, and it will show you all of the things that you could get with that image on it. Okay, including the phone cases. Yeah, I don't even know what's there. Mouse pad, prints for the wall, all sorts of things. So it really is lovely, and then you can see the other things. And we'll end up getting some of his paintings that he did when we were on the road. You'll see some of those up there too. And is that just a wall print? Is that what that's the metal print?
That's the print on metal, which I'm
Which are
actually
just
going to order
gorgeous.
one of and get ahead of you guys about that probably and let you know how the quality is. But I have another metal print in the house that somebody else gave me, and it's a beautiful.
They're beautiful.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, and we've heard good things about this site and their quality of stuff. So fingers crossed. Okay, so how do I sign up so I don't miss any lives or any other shows? You can sign up if you've joined the Dream Team community. You won't miss anything because everything will be there. So that is, you can just, you can join the Dream Team at crinkledreams.com. Otherwise, we will post things on here. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is always helpful. And you can join our Make group on Facebook. And so some things will get posted there. The Dream Team community is definitely, if you want to stay in the loop with everything that's happening, that's where to be.
Announcements will always be posted there. Content, some of it may end up in members only sections of the Dream Team community, and that's
and then like the happy hours are
that's a
only in the
reason.
Dream Team, and and then the free patterns are there. Okay, so there was something else I'd like to know. What is the most layers of fabric your chorus can sew through? And I will say that it has sewn through like 10 layers of cuddle, so it will kind of sew through anything. The biggest thing is using the digital dual feed, which is right over there. This little guy. This is what you need to make it go through all of those layers, and honestly, using the stiletto and kind of helping it through.
It's got a tank tread on the bottom of it right there. It's a really clever and very functional piece of equipment.
It really is. And the other thing about sewing through a lot of layers of fabric that a lot of people don't realize is that much of that has to do with the size of your needle. So the bigger the needle number, the stronger it is. So if you're sewing through something heavy, and like this is something we got asked a lot with the Buy Any bags, is it would break your needles, use a heavier needle. So 90-14 stretch is what we use for cuddle. 90-14 top stitch is what I use for a lot of things that I need to poke all the way through a lot of layers. You can get it at 100, you can get it at 110, you can use leather needles. So all of that sort of stuff where it can kind of punch through all of those layers is what you need. It's partly your machine and partly, like a big part of it is needles on how much it can get through. So it's not just not necessarily just your machine. Although I will say this one, I have put it through its paces and it has done incredibly well. Roxanne would like to see us back in Illinois and Wisconsin. And we will probably be in Wisconsin because we've been asked a couple of times, and I should probably talk to Linda Z's and see if they'd like me to come back too. I've taught there a few times and I really like it. Holly, I would love to come teach in the Pacific Northwest. If we could find a place that would host a retreat, host some classes, bring me out for a guild meeting, something like that, I would love it.
What's the name of the one shop that you were recently just opened up? Solarium?
Solarium, PDX Solarium. They don't really have a classroom space, unfortunately.
Got it.
But if we could find a place, I bet we could make something work with him. He's great. The website, Evelyn asked for the website. It's crinkledreams.com. Adjustable tail and stuffed animals. Yes, you can absolutely do that. We'll talk about it. All right. It looks like we got almost all the questions. Try to make sure we got them all. So there's lots of new coming. And, like I said, I'm really grateful for you guys and for all of the love and support and enthusiasm that we have gotten from you. This has been, a little bit of a struggle. So I'm really excited to see where things are going and what we can do and doing the things that we love and that we're good at. And we have really grown to love working with other quilters and sewists in all the ways.
You guys familiar with Where the Wild Things Are? I feel like we're on a wild rumpus.
We're on a wild rumpus.
It's going to be fine.
That said, do expect things to be on sale more on crinkledreams.com. There will be more patterns, more fabrics, more kits, more all sorts of stuff, because now I need to sell more stuff. It's not my side gig anymore. All right. I think that's it. Great. Kathy has an idea. I love to hear them. Thank you. You should have, Montevilla. See? All right. I'm going to go through the links and answer questions too. So thank you very much for everything, you guys. I really do appreciate it. We'll be back in November, but we'll be back later because the beginning of November we will be in KC, or probably on the road actually up to KC on that Sunday. So we'll have to do it a little bit later in the month, maybe a Thanksgiving special. We'll see. Yeah.
All right. I think we just got committed.
All right.
So. Yes, thanks. Quilting mayhem too, for sure. Up in the Pacific
Mr.
Northwest.
Homish.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. There's not that many areas of the country that don't have amazing quilt shops in them.
They really do.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's the best. So, all right. Are we good?
I think we're done.
We thank you guys, and hopefully we'll see you out there at one of the places that we're going to be. And if not, if you've got ideas for us, let us know. Tell your local quilt shop to reach out, your local quilt guild, all of that stuff. We're happy to do it. All right, you ready?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
Happy sewing.